Okay, today we're going to make some strawberry polenta cakes. Polenta is really good for you, so it's meant to be quite good if you're trying to lose some weight, but it also tastes quite nice. It's a sort of substitute for using some more flour in this, so it's going to be sort of half polenta and half flour. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, if you can't get polenta, you can get cornmeal, which is the same stuff. But lots of supermarkets, lots of Polish supermarkets, that's where this came from. So it's very, very cheap. It's quite a different ingredient to put into cakes, as you'll see when you make them and then you taste them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in our butter, our sugar into our bowl, and then we're going to put our butter into the bowl, and we're just going to chop the butter up. Now you can use margarine. If you're going to use butter, you need to use unsalted butter for this recipe, but you could use margarine as well. I'm just using butter because I quite like cooking with butter, so I'm going to chop it so it makes it easier when we blend it together with the sugar. So we put our butter in there. Then what we're going to do onto that is we're going to put the zest of half a lemon. So you just use a grater, like a cheese grater, quite a fine one, and being careful you don't grate your fingers into it. Just going to put that lemon zest in there. It's quite a small lemon, this one, so I think I'll possibly use most of the lemon. Okay, put the rest of that in there. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the sugar and the butter and the lemon zest together. You're probably going to go everywhere. This is much easier if you have quite kind of warm butter or soft margarine, but it kind of creams together. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what I shall do is pretend that bit didn't happen. I shall just carefully move that to one side. Okay, then what we're going to do is when the butter and the sugar have mixed together, we're going to add the polenta. Okay, so this is 85 grams of polenta, and when you're adding it, if you want to check, it feels a bit like sort of sand. It's quite strange stuff. So you put that into the mix as well, and then we're going to bring that together, bind that together, obviously carefully. There we go. This is quite a messy recipe if you do it like this. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to crack 3 eggs into there, and then we're going to bind it together and make a batter. Okay, so we're going to put our 3 eggs in. Now the good thing about making cakes is it doesn't really matter if you make a mess or if you just forget which step to do first and just bung it all in. So I'm trying to be quite kind of ordered in this. So we crack our 3 eggs in, and then we're going to whisk those eggs in, and this should bind it all together. Okay, and what you'll see is it starts to come together. We're going to keep going because we want to make a batter. Okay, so that's what it starts to look like, which is really cool. And if you haven't got a whisk, you could use, I used a blender to make some cakes earlier on. It would be really hard to do this with a wooden spoon unless you've got sort of guns of steel. This was only, I think it was only £9 from Lidl. So if you can get hold of one of these little whisks, they're really, really cool. And then you can make cakes and it's so much easier. But if you have got guns of steel, then you could do this. I reckon it would take quite a long time. I'm going to give it a final blitz. Perfect. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to add our flour. Now this is sifted flour, which I bought, simply because I broke my sieve. Okay, so if you haven't got sifted flour, just put your flour through a sieve and then put your flour into your mix. Okay, and then you need to add a teaspoon of baking powder. This is a little half teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2 of those. Now that's really important when we make our cakes, because we do want them to rise. And then we're going to add a little splodge of milk. So we add a little splodge of milk, okay, and then a little splodge more. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix that up again. Okay. Then that starts to look like a sort of our normal type of cake mixture. Okay, so then it's all joined together. And then what I'm going to do is just push the sides down. So I want all this mixture off the sides. I'm going to give it one little blast. So that's done for the mixing. There is obviously cake mixture everywhere now, all over the kitchen. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add our strawberries to it. We're not going to blend the strawberries in, we're just going to put our strawberries and fold them into our mixture. And you need to have chopped up your strawberries into sort of small. So this time of year is perfect, obviously, for strawberries. For pick your own strawberries. Some people have got them grown in their gardens, or if you've got an allotment. They're pretty cheap in the shops as well at the moment, but they're also really tasty, really juicy. So we're going to put our strawberries and mix them into our mixture, and that's our cake mixture. Okay, so we don't need to do any more. Okay, and when you're mixing it, you'll be able to sort of feel the difference from a normal sort of cake mixture with the polenta, because it is sort of quite gritty. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to fill 12 cases with this mixture. Move it off the spatula. And what you want to try and do is when you fill each strawberry, when you fill each case, you want to make sure there's at least a couple of pieces of strawberry in there. Okay, so we're just going to go along, fill in each cake. I would do a spoonful in each to start with. Yep. And then you can always go back and top up. Now if you haven't got a very steady hand, or you're just completely rubbish at spooning mixture in, which some people are, I'm not particularly great at it, you can always ask somebody to help. This is a really good recipe to do with kids, because chopping up strawberries is actually a really easy thing to do, and they're really easy to chop, so it's quite a good thing to do. If you've never tried polenta before, this recipe is quite a good recipe, just to get you trying something different. It's pretty cheap, but it's meant to be really, really good for you, really healthy. And I read somewhere on Google that it helps you lose weight. So whether that's the case, I don't know. As you go along, plopping a little bit on each one. There's a little bit of mixture left. Make sure they're all approximately the same size. That little one there's got not very much. So you get all your mixture out. It's looking pretty cool. Splodge it in. Okay, and what we're going to do is that's going to go in the oven, 180 degrees for about 20 minutes. And what you need to do, I'll show you with a little prodder, is when you take them out, is prod it in there, and if you get any mixture on the little needle, then you know that they've got to go back in for a few more minutes. So it needs to go into quite a hot oven, 180 degrees, and they take about 20 minutes to cook. And then what they'll look like when they come out, these are some I made a little bit earlier. Just going to wash my hands because I am covered in mixture. Okay, so those strawberries inside, when you've cooked them, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put one on a plate. Okay, so we choose this one. So what the strawberries do is they kind of turn, like you get the blueberry muffins, and the strawberries all sort of disintegrate, but they stay in their position. They're really delicious. Well, it's a very nice cake. And these are strawberry polenta cakes. They're quite light, it's a different sort of texture, but they're really good. And because they're super healthy, you can have loads with a cup of tea. Download the recipe. I've seen some of the pictures that you've been sending in, which is really good. This is a really straightforward recipe. Try it. Polenta, you will be able to find it. You can ask somebody in the supermarket. I know that lots of the Polish supermarkets stock it as well. Try it, have a bash, and see how you get on, and enjoy your strawberry polenta cakes.